Good morning, everyone. Welcome to DevFest 2025, where we connect, we learn, and then we play hard. Um, this morning, it's going to be an interesting time because we're going to have the union of two phenomenal elements and seeing how we can harness what these two elements are able to achieve. Product leaders, designers, QA, CEOs, co-founders. My name is Abayomi Sowemimo, a very small boy leading the product landscape at FSDH, where we have financial services and then we build digital product to be able to provide these services to customers. Also at Fraction Money, I lead the fintech product where we allow you to transfer money to your family and friends. You're also able to generate virtual cards to make dollar payments and also invest in stocks and mutual funds. Now, we are talking about when artificial intelligence meets with product management, meets with product development, which in all entirety we have digital products that we all use today. Now, just to lay some foundation, the product lifecycle means that either we have a new product or an existing product. So if you're a product manager here, can I see your hands up? Okay, great, fantastic. Now, when you joined a company or a startup or you want to build with your friends, you either have a new product or there's an already existing product that you want to improve, that particular application in terms of versioning. And when you do that, the product is introduced into the market, right? And then there is a growth. In essence, that's why you see some people call themselves growth product managers because they are growing the product. But there are some products that they have also attained a level of maturity, which means that even while you are sleeping, you are making money. And that is why we have some of these big companies out there, maybe Money Point, OPay, people are transferring money even in the midnight, and you're making commission. So there's a maturity. Also, you have another life cycle called the decline, and then you're also able to, that's when the product is not able to maintain a level of maturity. But then after that, you begin to withdraw the product from the market. Through this process, we have commercialization in terms of making money or trying to increase user adoption. And also there's the operational part where the product marketer, the operational team are managing this product. Now, we have the product phase gate, whereby we're saying that you just wake up one morning and say, oh, I have an idea. God just showed me an idea. I want to build this product. And then you call your friends, right? You call Tola, you call Chukwemeka and say, guys, let's come together. We want to build this product. And you conceive that idea, and from there you start planning. You say, okay, now we need to have a product requirement document. We need to know what the market problem is. Who are our competitors? Who are we trying to actually compete against? What are they doing that we can do better, that we can use to beat them? And then you begin to develop. And when you develop the product, you begin to also test the assumptions that you have, meeting with prospective users and trying to gather feedback. You also begin to qualify the product to say, when we launch, how do we launch this product into the market? You launch it, and then your users start interacting with it. And then at a point, you retire. Now, I remember back then in those years, I was using one phone called Infinix. And then on that Android, we used to have Google Hangouts, Google Play Music. Does this product still exist, these two products? No, right? Because they have been retired from the market. Who else knows another product that has been retired from the market? Maybe this year. Any idea? Any idea? Skype, God bless you. So Skype too, yes, Skype has actually been withdrawn from the market. It has been retired. But there's a system they use to retire this market. They have to inform you maybe 3 months ahead of time, 2 months ahead of time. That is what good product leaders does. You don't just retire your product from the market immediately. So that when your users wake up, they find out that the APK has disappeared. What's going on, right? So it's interesting. Now, We ask ourselves, why the now of AI? Why not the future of artificial intelligence, something we can look at, towards heaven and say, oh, this is the future of artificial intelligence. And we're saying that because now artificial intelligence has been involved in our daily lives, right? It helps us to save time, right? It maximizes productivity. I'll be so surprised if you're not using ChatGPT or Gemini here, right? Who is the person? So we can just send the person out as an outcast. So it's part of our daily tools. And then the efficient product managers, the efficient product leaders, right, are those who collaborate with these artificial intelligence tools. Now, it's no longer a buzzword. It's no longer a frenzy word, something that, catches your fancy or gives you, is it goosebumps now, right? It's powering how we ideate, how we conceive ideas, how we deliver ideas, how we test, how we deliver the product. And this is the now we are living in. So, you know what they say, that if you cannot beat them, you have to join them. So product leaders, product marketers, product managers, whether you're building with a team, right? This is the now we are living in. And you need to come to accept the truth that it is either you inculcate this particular phenomenon into your product lifecycle or you're left out. Now, we hear about generative AI, and let's lay some foundation. Some months ago, I saw a friend who was celebrating her birthday, and I saw her picture. And she's the type that she doesn't go for photo shoots. She doesn't even go out, right? I'm asking, wow, this is a beautiful picture. Who is the photographer? Where did you snap this? And I was telling me, no, this is Gemini. Oh, nice. So Nano Banana now can help you create your picture just like you are in the studio. So what does it mean for photographers? Right? So this type of artificial intelligence now can create new content. It can, generate text, images, music, code, just from being trained with trillions of data and being able to transform that data and generate something that makes sense within the context of the prompts you have given it to it. Now, we have a technique in AI called retrieval augmented generation, which is called RAG. And I'm showing you this because as product leaders or product managers, you must have the fundamental understanding of how artificial intelligence works. Because if you don't, what it means is that when your CEO comes and say, we want to integrate artificial intelligence or agentic AI into our product, you cover your head and say, no, I'm not going to be involved. But when the CEO calls and say, come guys, we are building this particular feature with AI, you can stand up with your chest boldly, say, here I am. Use me, Lord. Right? So it's interesting. So you must have that fundamental understanding of what this RAG means. And it's a technique. It's not magic. Please, I beg you, artificial intelligence is not abracadabra. There is a technique behind it. Now, what it means is you all have the user interface, ChatGPT, Gemini. You say, ChatGPT, please help me to, as a lover boy, help me to write a love letter to my girlfriend or is someone I like, and help me with that love letter. Now, when you input that particular prompt, what the model will do is to go to sources or knowledge sources, and that is the number 2. Knowledge sources whereby you can crawl through the internet or articles and look for those texts that are involved with love languages, right? And then from there, after crawling through those sites, also speaks with the LLM, right, which is a large language model, and these ones are way smarter because we also have SLM, small language model, right? So it interacts with the LLM, which is a very intelligent model that has been trained, retraining, trained, and post-training with trillions of data. And it's so beautiful because it's something that I also want you to study. It's going to catch your fancy when you see how these things work with tokens, how product leaders and product managers and developers are training data. It calls the LLM with the content from those third-party sites, articles. It merges it with the model, which is the LLM, right, that is very intelligent, mix it together and gives you an enhanced information within the context of what you're asking for. So, and then from that particular merger or that marriage, right, it gives you the response. So, my dear fellow leaders, it's not magic. If you study these things, you understand it better. Now, we have, I think on your own side, from your left-hand side, you have the traditional product managers, and then on your right-hand side, you have the AI-enabled product managers. Now, traditional product managers, if you like coffee, yeah, let me see your answers. Coffee. 1, 2, 3. How about tea? Okay, let's see, guys. Pizza, shawarma. If you start your day with pizza and shawarma, let me see your answer. Okay, so you take your coffee, you have your sticky notes that you've been able to gum to your board, right? And then you're brainstorming. You begin to Google, for who is our competitor or who are our competitors. And you have stakeholder meetings, you gather insight, you begin to use your, Google Sheets to do your analysis, and then you write PRDs from scratch. But the AI-enabled PMs, right? They start with their morning coffee or whatever, shawarma or pizza, right? They say, hey, Gemini, my buddy, what's up? Summarize this user feedback that we have gotten from, this particular questionnaire or survey and give me insight. And then, also interact with Vertex AI to say, what are the features that you think we can build? Now, it's also interesting because artificial intelligence is like your co-pilot. You are the pilot. Please do not forget that. You still have a responsibility. It is not replacing you, right? It is coming as a teammate. It is coming as a teammate. It is not coming to replace you, right? So you have a responsibility to also, add judgment to whatever artificial intelligence gives you. And then you're using Firebase to prototype, validate assumptions, test your hypotheses, right? And then is creating the product requirement document. Because I remember back then in those years, if you tell me, develop this period, I will tell you maybe like a week or 2 weeks. But under 3 hours, I can develop a PRD for a feature. It's so amazing, right? And when you have such teammates by your side, you can also focus on more important things like strategy. So if you're a traditional PM here, let me see your hand raised. AI-enabled PM. So the others that refuse to raise their hand, they are on the fence. You are the vassals, right? Okay, so Google Workspace, powering Gemini, powering Google Workspace, right? From your Google Doc to your Google Slides, to your Sheets, right? You can interact, put in data, tell it to summarize, do all of those amazing stuff. And you see the evolution of what Gemini has done and the impact on product management. Because in 2018, AI has been existing, but because it requires a level of technical expertise, right, as machine learning engineers, as developers, before you could interact with this model, right? But in, I think, 2022, in November, ChatGPT was released, and then we need to have this user interface where you can go and chat, right? You chat with Gemini, you chat with Bard, and all of that. It gives you the response. And from there, in 2024, Gemini 1 and 1.5 was released, and then we began using this, amazing stuff to develop what we do. And there was also an advanced UI that was incorporated into Google Workspace for some of us that our organization leverages on Google Workspace to facilitate our processes. And then I think about this week, right, Gemini 3, it used to be Gemini 2, but Gemini 3 is now a much more intelligent model, right, that has been released. And next year, who knows the fantastic things that would also happen with artificial intelligence. Now, there is a PM shift from point A to point B that I want us to move to. You see this particular model layer in color-coded in yellow is where I want most of us to be, because most of us are actually on app layer. We are AI-enabled product managers or product leaders. We use Gemini, we use Firebase Studio. But the model layer, right, allows you as a product manager or product leader to start building models that are within context. So it means that you can start training, because you understand how artificial intelligence works, you can start training your model maybe within the context of law. And it's so fascinating, but time will not permit us to teach on how, you can actually train data from the input to the output and begin to get those billions of data within the context. So the model layer, which is color coded in yellow, is where I actually want a lot of us to move to, right? Because the world is gravitating more on that, so that you are not just consuming artificial intelligence, you're also making it, you're building it. Now, as I mentioned, it is no longer a feature, a tool, it's becoming a fabric, right, in the product development cycle. It's powering how we, conceive ideas, how we plan, how we develop, right? And it's so fascinating. Now, there's a part where I really want us to also assimilate when it comes to user research. I think before now, in design, we used to say, oh, let's give this particular UI UX designer maybe like 2 weeks to come up with the high fidelity, right, mockup or low fidelity mockup or prototype. But now with Firebase Studio, right, generative AI has been incorporated such that your user research can be smarter and faster. Now, activities that we do also in the product space, right, we're able to conduct user interviews, create user personas, we know all of these things. The interesting part is for Firebase Studio, right, which you can now use natural language to prompt it and it can develop a working prototype. If you go to Firebase Studio, just Google search, you log in, you create an account, right? And it asks you, what do you want to build, Abayomi? Now, there's also a skill I want us to really grasp. Prompt engineering is very key. Some of us, we are very lazy, even with AI. No, AI is not here to make you lazy, right? It's actually here to make you better. So with your prompt, you have to do more work. So he asked me, what do I want to build? And you will see that I was saying, oh, this is the purpose, right? DevFest event registration hub this is the purpose. These are the objectives. You can see that I even took my time to write the user stories, right? So that when it is prototyping, it is trained on the data that I have given to it. And you see that I have my feature, registration data management, payment monitoring. It gives me the style guideline, the stack that will be used. And then voila, I have a working prototype from Firebase Studio, right? And I can fill in the information, proceed to payment, web view, mobile view. I put in my information, registration is confirmed, I can download my receipts, right? So you see that things that actually takes like weeks or months, right? You now have the ability to use your natural language to prompt these tools to give you a working prototype that allows you to become more agile, right? And there's the rise of AI product managers, and that is the shift I want us to adopt as a mindset today. These AI PMs are inborn. I also spend my time to study, right? To know how tokens work, how transformers work, how model works. These are things that you can take your time to study and understand. So my advice, don't rush mastery, build momentum, one loop at a time. Innovation will thrive when human and AI collaborate and we are both continuously learning because even AI still hallucinates. So it can only become better when it has more training data. Now, today, artificial intelligence will not replace product managers, but product managers who use AI will replace those who don't. CEOs who use artificial intelligence will replace CEOs who do not. So it's a very phenomenal thing. And I'll be leaving with some final notes because of my time. Artificial intelligence means that there's also a responsibility for ethical use of artificial intelligence. It means that we have to use this responsibly. We have to trust AI, but we're also going to verify with judgment. Now, let me ask you some things. Do we have like two friends there that you know each other? You came here together. Two friends. You and who? Okay, can you both come out? The two guys, yeah. And who came here alone? Alone. Okay. Okay. No, we've picked the guy before, so a lady can come. Right? Okay, quick one. Quick one, please. Thank you so much. Come, come. All right, come, come. This is your time to shine. Let's go. So you can come here, right? And I need you to face him, right? What's his name? Ebenezer, right? What's your name? Mercy. Okay. Um, I need you to turn, right? And Ebenezer, right? I need to move backwards. Oh, let's go forward. Let's go forward. Now you can turn. Face it. This is Ebenezer, yes or no? This is Ebenezer, yes or no? Why is she not Ebenezer? Right? Yeah. Yes. This is not Ebenezer. Because you know that you know that you know that you know, exactly. Right? That this is not Ebenezer. So you see what happens there, right? There's I am the AI, right, that has swapped two entities, right? But he has a responsibility to judge. So you verify with judgment that this is not Ebenezer. Why? Because if I wake him up tomorrow morning and say, I bring this lady to his house, I say, this is Ebenezer, I'll say, no. Why? Because I know that, that what? That this is not Ebenezer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right? So you're being able to verify with judgment, and it's amazing. And that's why I said artificial intelligence is your co-pilot. You are the pilot. You are the one actually what? Driving the plane. So please do not become lazy because artificial intelligence is here to make things easier for you. And now I leave with this final note that we have the potential to unlock incredible possibilities with AI. The boundaries are endless. And it's only better for us to embrace this phenomenon, right? To make things easier for our lives, save time, focus on more important things, right? And be able to drive products that truly matter. I wrote a book on Arise Product Managers, which is like a declaration for building product that matters. And one of the things I would like to do here today is also to ensure that if you can tag GDG on LinkedIn, I need you to build something with Firebase Studio. My book is worth 10,000 naira. I know it's a small amount for Nepo baby, for Lapo baby like us, right? I'll give you that book for free. Outstanding testimonies from that book, and build something with Firebase Studio that you want to use to test hypotheses. And tag Google Developer Group on LinkedIn. You can also tag me, and then let's see what you built. So I'll be expecting to hear from you. Thank you so much for having me. Sure.